So I have a theory that most of us go throughout our lives seeking to feel good, and it sounds so stupid. It sounds like oh, at least I mean I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I grew up, at least. But like just to go around looking to feel good, it sounds kind of fluffy. It sounds immature, uh, and it's just kind of stupid. It's kind of like it sounds like the sort of the caricature of Joel Osteen's version of life. and I'm not saying that's what Joel Osteen teaches. I'm just saying that's kind of what it sounds like. It's sort of the Joel Osteenified, at least the caricature of Joel Osteen's philosophy of life, if you will. So try to feel good. But if you think about it, I mean, most of us, if we don't feel good, what's the first thing we do? We try to get out of that state typically, right? Like most of us are not willingly in a negative psychological state. Now, there may be some caveats and some exceptions there, but as a whole, we all want to feel good. And if we don't feel good, I mean, that's one of the most motivating things probably is if you don't feel good. Like if you're in a relationship that makes you feel sad or angry, like you're going to want to change that. Like for some people, that means, I mean, if it's a marriage relationship, hopefully you work on fixing it. And if it's not a marriage relationship, maybe you just look to get out of it, or maybe you try to fix it. Either one. Um, so, trite as it may sound, most of us, most of the time, what we're looking to do is to feel good. So, I think that it's actually potentially a good exercise to think about what's your ideal state. Like if you could choose any way to feel about life, or to feel just to feel inside, just the emotional state. If you could choose any emotional state, what state would you choose, and describe it, and then think about how can you be in that state more of the time. Now, for all of us, our emotions are going to fluctuate, and that's totally cool. That's totally normal. No problem. But I think we can still have in our mind sort of what the ideal emotional state is, and then try to put the pieces in place that allow us to be in that state more of the time. And I would argue that that is not a purely selfish exercise, but sort of the idea of being, if you're happy, the people around you are happier. Not only does it rub off on them, but it also changes the way you treat them. So, what is that ideal state? I think for me, it's probably somewhere along the lines of a like fairly like peaceful, but some ebb and flow of excitement. I think so. In other words, I'm hopeful, but I'm happy, right? So like I have contentment in my current state. Uh, I'm not anxious about it. I'm not, um, feeling whiny about it. Whatever. I don't have angst about it. Um, but I have something in the future to look forward to that I feel with enough certainty is coming that I'm excited about it, and yet maybe not too much certainty, so that there's some variability there, and I'm excited not only to experience the future, but to see what the future is actually like, right? They've shown that psychologically that's part of why gambling can be addictive, is because uncertain outcomes are more enjoyable to some degree than completely certain outcomes are. So, um, so that's something I think about some is how do I spend more of my time in a more ideal state, and what are some of the keys. So I think for me, acceptance I think is a big part of contentment. So which is a big part of being peaceful in the moment. So accepting where I'm at in life, whether it matches exactly my preconceived notion of where an almost 40-year-old should be or not. um, and then but also hope, and not a and then I think that hope is what gives the or hope come or Hope for the future, then, or an excitement about the future, I think comes from like an expectation. Even you could even say an eager expectation. And so to cultivate that view of the future that is informed by truth and the good things that God has in store for those who love Him. If you think about the fact that for people who love God, everything is working together for their good. Pretty crazy to think about everything in your life going forward is going to be working for your good. We take that verse at face value, and then that's what it means, I think. And so that's a lot of good. I mean, like everything, basically everything in your life working for your good. Now, does that mean there won't be difficult times? Of course not. But still, working for your good, that God is so involved in your life that it's all going to pan out for the best. These are really good things. And then, of course, the ultimate hope of being fully united with God in heaven for eternity. I mean, I think if we grasped how awesome that is, then I don't know, maybe it's good we don't, because maybe we get too eager to get to heaven, right? Like maybe it'd make this earth just seem like just too much to bear, because we're so excited about going to heaven. But I think that for the believer, for the Christian, to truly grasp reality, like to truly understand and comprehend God, the world, like just to have a full understanding, I think would equal tremendous, even white hot joy, because of how good things are and are becoming and will become. So, anyway, what's your ideal state? What can you do to be there more of the time? Except at times when you're not, but try to be there more of the time so that not only can you live a good life, but you can do a better job serving God and you can do a better job of loving people.